Hey, everybody, I'm Mike Lieberman. I'm the CEO at Square 2, and welcome to HubSpot Garage's office hours. Ask us anything. You got questions, we got answers, and today we're going to talk about HubSpot. Before we get into it, quickly, HubSpot office hours are brought to you by services that Square 2 provides that we like to fondly refer to as HubSpot Garage. If you've got HubSpot, it really needs to be maintained and updated on a regular basis. And we are pleased to let everybody know that Square 2 offers very affordable monthly services geared around HubSpot, whether it's your website, it's your SEO, your overall marketing, your deployment of the sales hub, or overall revenue operations that you need help with. And even if you're looking for some additional software to uncover some AI-powered insights and recommendations, there's a variety of services that we can talk to you about if you're interested. So thanks for joining. Our HubSpot experts at the HubSpot office hours sessions are Gabe Rahab. He's the director of RevOps and interactive services at Square 2. And Gabe is actually here with us today. Gabe, say hi to everybody.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Amber Wojcik and Bob McCarthy are going to be future panelists. They were busy today taking care of clients, but you can see we have a nice group of people here who are going to be more than happy to answer all of your HubSpot questions if you decide to join us on a session like this. So Gabe, let's get right into it. I know you have a couple of things that you want to update everybody on, but we did get a couple of questions. So let me start with the questions. And then when we're done, if you are interested in continuing to just educate the audience a little bit on HubSpot, that would be great. If any of you are interested in submitting questions, just email me, mike@square2marketing.com, your HubSpot related questions, and I'll make sure we cover them in these monthly office hours sessions. And like I said, if you're interested in attending, let me know at the same email address, mike@square2marketing.com, and I'll get you the email invite. We do these once a month for as long as we need to. We have it scheduled for an hour. If we need to be here an hour, we will. If it runs a little shorter, we'll just hop off and let everybody get back to what they were doing. But today, Gabe, I know that we got a question from Mark in Portland, Oregon about the HubSpot payments product. So he was curious, what's it used for? What are some of its capabilities? What might not be a good use case for it? So I'm hoping you could talk to Mark a little bit about the new payments product. We've got a lot of people interested in it. Maybe you could shed a little bit of light on what it can and can't do right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So HubSpot introduced payments a couple months ago, and it's been really useful for a lot of people. I think some of the main use cases that we're seeing for it are people who previously had subscriptions. You can set up recurring subscriptions with it and automatically take payment within HubSpot. You can send out quotes for products or services and attach a payment to them, allowing people to pay with, that credit card or an e-check directly, from a bank account. And you could even set up, a small store, just something simple that you wanted to have somebody pay for. You can set all that up within HubSpot. I think what's really, really powerful about that though, and why that's really important is because it really allows you to then kick off automations based on that. So if you're selling a service or somebody accepts a quote, there's a lot of operations that go into, hey, do I need to email so-and-so an accounts receivable to bill them? Do I need to alert a team who needs to service this, this has come in and somebody paid for this to begin, providing those services? Or do I need to kick off a specific automation to get them into a specific queue for something to start? So all of that can automatically be triggered by the purchase, which really allows for that powerful automation. And then right away, you also have that purchase data. You can update life cycle stages. Hey, we know this is a customer now. We know what they bought. So now our marketing can also get better because we know how to send them. We know what they bought, so we know what to send them, how to market to them. We can get a lot more segmented and precise with what we do and how we do it. And so there's a lot of power to payments, not just in the payment itself. I think people overlook the benefits that come beyond it. I think what else is really great about it is it's super easy to set up. We actually set it up ourselves here at Square 2. Took, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, something along those lines.
I actually think I set it up, which is
yes,
like a testament to how easy it is, because I am not technical at all.
Yeah, so it's really easy to set up, and you're up and running in very little time, very little configuration to get it going. And they've just really streamlined and made the process very simple to get into HubSpot and do those payments.
That's great. I do get sometimes asked how the HubSpot payments product compares to some more sophisticated options like Shopify, as an example. So could you just for a minute or two educate our listeners on like maybe when I would need to go to a Shopify or what some of the differences are from a use case perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you need a full-blown store, right? You have a lot of products. You need restrictions to certain products. That's when you would go to like a Shopify, a BigCommerce, something along those lines. That's when you need an external store. So if you just have simple products and you just want to set a few things up for somebody to purchase, or you sell very expensive products that you're custom quoted out and you're putting those into a quote and somebody's kind of accepting that. That's maybe more where HubSpot's a good fit. But when you need a full-blown store, a full-blown e-commerce system with lots of products, lots of customization features, options, things of that nature, that's when you might be better off using BigCommerce, Shopify, and just integrating them back into HubSpot. You still get a lot of the benefits, when you use those integrations between Shopify. There's a native integration with HubSpot. There's third-party integrations for BigCommerce. And so when you do use those, you'll still get all your data back in to do all the things that we previously talked about. It's just going to come through an integration then at that point.
Good. Thank you. That's pretty clear. So I got a question from Gary in San Diego. I have very specific life cycle stages in my business, and he's asking specifically if HubSpot has the capabilities to handle some not off the shelf, but like out of the norm life cycle stages in his business. I know you have some update about their abilities there.
Yeah, so that's a great question. This has actually been one of the biggest pain points of HubSpot that a lot of people griped about is in the past, you can't really customize your life cycle stages. So you'd have to create a separate property, and then you'd have to create workflows to kind of keep those two properties in sync, so that as you have your custom life cycle stage, you could then set your HubSpot life cycle stage accordingly.
Gabe, just for the sake of our listeners, like, can you define a life cycle so we all know exactly what that is?
Yes. So life cycle stages allow you to know what stage a contact is in. So are they a lead? Are they a customer? Are they an opportunity? And so that's a great question. That just allows you to segment and classify your contacts essentially.
So it could simply be just stages in the sales process, right?
Yep.
Someone's a marketing qualified lead. They hadn't talked to someone at sales yet. Maybe they reach out and they want to talk to sales and they become a sales qualified lead. And if the sales rep qualifies the lead and as a good opportunity, becomes a sales opportunity. So those would be three examples of life cycles. Those aren't unique really, but those are some examples of life cycle stages.
Yep. And those life cycle stages are going to span all the way from when they first come into your database, from marketing into sales, into service, as they become customers and so on. And so HubSpot has default lifecycle stages. I believe there's 8 of them, if I remember correctly, that are just default, and you couldn't change them, you couldn't touch them. But the big news is February 1st, I believe they're going to open that up, and it's in beta right now, but it'll come out of beta, and I believe on the 1st, and everybody will get access to it. And you'll be able to customize those life cycle stages. So you can just go into your properties, find that life cycle stage property, and you'll be able to add, remove, edit, and then customize and make your own life cycle stages so that you can make them reflect what those life cycle stages actually are in your business.
Is that on February 1st? Does that just become a new button in the tool that allows us to go in and do it? Is it for all product lines? Give us a little bit more on that detail.
Yeah. So as far as I know, so far it's going to be for all product lines. And every portal has a life cycle stage property right now. It's just that you couldn't edit it. It was a default property that couldn't be edited. So the only difference is now is you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to edit it and change
So
it,
it'll
add
come up as
options.
an editable property, and then you can change it to whatever you want it to be.
Yep, that's
Okay,
correct. Yep.
cool. Good. Anything else on that?
No, that's really it, and that's going to make a lot of people's lives a lot easier.
Good. I got another question here. This is from Nicole in New York City. She's been playing around with the quotes tool in HubSpot, and her question is, how much customization can be done on the quotes tool? It looks like she's running into some issues not being able to customize it enough for her requirements. What advice would you have for her?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's correct. Actually, previously you couldn't customize the kind of look and feel of your quotes, how they laid out, what fields were on there. You were limited to / couldn't do anything depending on what you wanted to do with it. But if there is actually a beta going on right now, public beta, that does allow you to edit at the look and feel, what fields are in there. So again, you can customize that to your business. And you do have to request that from HubSpot to gain access to it at the moment. But you can get that access. And what that allows you to do then is, it's not going to be a plug and play interface like you guys are used to seeing with the drag and drop with HubSpot. This does require a developer to go in. So you will need somebody who knows how to edit HubSpot templates and is familiar with Hubble code. Excuse me, in order to do that. But once you can change around the layout of your template. You can change around what fields are in there. So you can bring in custom fields. You can remove some of the default fields. So you can make those quotes your own and customize them exactly to your business.
It's a good thing we know some people that could do that work, don't we?
Yeah, we've worked on a handful of those right now. It's actually been a very popular feature for people who do use quotes, who want to be able to customize that. And so we've worked with it pretty extensively so far.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned something interesting. It's in beta. So how does someone go about getting a beta unlocked in HubSpot? Do you have to ask your customer service rep? Is it a form you fill out? How do you go about getting features unlocked that are in beta if you're a HubSpot customer?
Yeah, it's a little bit different depending on each beta. So some betas, they will have just a form that you can fill out if you can find it, but it's usually not very publicly available. So they're hard to find. So if you're working with a partner, ask your partner. They'll get you the access you need. They'll kind of talk to the people at HubSpot that you need to. If not, just talk to support. Support will, talk to HubSpot support and say, hey, I'm looking for this beta. Is it possible to get me in? You're not going to be able to get into every beta. They go through different stages. Sometimes they open in public and close them again as they make adjustments. So there's different ways of getting access, but the easiest way is either ask your partner or ask HubSpot support.
Good. I mean, we're obviously a pretty big HubSpot partner. So when our clients want access, you get in touch with HubSpot and you let them know that we're interested in getting this client into the beta. That's typically how we go about it, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Yeah. You will need your portal number handy when you request it, but other
Mhm.
than that, yes, that's the most important piece.
I think our portal number is just as easy for me to remember as my social security number.
Yeah. Yes. I did one number I have memorized where I don't, there's only maybe a handful of phone numbers I have memorized these days.
Right. Good. I appreciate that. Anything else you have for us today?
I mean, there are a couple other updates that I think we talked about on one of our blogs recently, which might be interesting to know. But there were some, HubSpot did open up A/B testing in workflows now. So for marketing emails, so you can, if you are doing emails through workflows, you can start doing some A/B testing. So you can use that, same way you would if you're just sending an initial email. But now that you have complex automations, or even not complex automations, but any automations where you want to send a marketing email, you can A/B test the same you would if you're going to do a scheduled email. So the only difference is with this one is with workflows, you'll have to manually check on your results and say, okay, I can see this one's the winner, or this one's not the winner, because not everything's going to be sent out in mass. And so you'll just have to check it over time, and then at whenever you want, choose when to switch over to whichever winner came through.
Good.
I think there's another actually sales meeting tool update, which is pretty nice. I mean, if you use HubSpot's meeting tool, so you can now, instead of just opening up your entire calendar to somebody, you can choose very specific times to send them. So you can suggest a time and say, suggest this time, but also give them these time blocks. So I don't want to give them access to my entire calendar. I would just want to give them access to these 5 spots. So you can also do that now, and HubSpot gives you an option to do that. Similar to there's other platforms that already do this already. So they're just expanding that feature set and allowing you to do more and suggest times and choose specific times. Other than that, I mean, there's, they opened up sales forecasting on mobile devices now. So for sales reps, if you're using the HubSpot app, you can see your sales forecasting. And the only other maybe interesting thing is if you have CMS Hub Enterprise, you can now schedule publishing of pages. So instead of just having to manually publish a page, you could schedule it for a future release. So you don't have to have somebody sitting up at midnight to say, all right, I want to publish this page now. You could say, schedule this to publish at midnight on this day, and it'll publish at that time.
That's awesome. Really good. Does that about wrap it up?
Yeah, that's it for today.
Good. Gabe, I really appreciate you joining us on the HubSpot office hours. That was some really interesting information. Again, for those of you that are watching, Square 2 provides a whole bunch of services related to HubSpot. We can keep your website running optimized. We can take a look at your SEO and keep that performing at a high level. We'll look at your entire marketing program as it lives in HubSpot. We can provide ongoing marketing operations and sales operation services and overall revenue operation services. And we have an artificial intelligence powered insights and recommendation software called MaxG that any of these services, it comes along with that at no extra charge. In addition, we have a regular HubSpot update email that you can subscribe to, which we send out once a month. That's written by Amber, who will be joining us on some of these calls in the future. So if you want to get an email update on some of the information that Gabe shared with you today, just head on over to our website and head up to the HubSpot services page, and there's a CTA for you to click on there and subscribe to that email. Thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to everybody for joining us. We'll see you in February for our February edition of HubSpot Office Hours. Thanks very much and have a really good day. Thanks, Gabe.